Hello and welcome along to the Irish Blues Mafia at the Shed with Trevor. You're very welcome along. I'm returning after my little holiday or break from it. I took the month off. Just needed to go away, refresh, reboot, and hopefully come back for a new season and be ready to go. Um, I'll tell you what I was doing or little bits and bobs as we go along through the program. Tonight's show or this evening's show, I'll be talking about the Bills return to training camp. Just a few little bits and pieces I picked up so far. Um, I'm going to discuss the new kickoff rule. I haven't discussed it yet. I just was reading up on it on my time off and watching some of it, some little bits and pieces about it, and hopefully it will make the game a little bit more exciting. And then I'm going to just discuss at the end what I'm hoping to do going forward for this coming season. So as I say, you're very welcome along. It's the 25th of July. Since I was with you last, I've added another digit to my age, so not getting any younger. Um, so what I'm hopefully going to do now is discuss a few little bits and pieces on the Bills training camp. So I was watching a couple of videos there from Brandon Bean and Josh Allen. They returned yesterday, and apparently some executive from somewhere called Josh Allen overrated, and Brandon Bean was asked in it. And if some so-called executive was not named or no franchise was given where it was said. But in fairness, Brandon Bean defended him well. Uh, didn't he defending Josh Allen can defend himself? I don't know where this person was going from. But Brandon Bean has said himself, there's idiots everywhere, and there is idiots everywhere. Sadly, the world is full of idiots at times. And first, I want to say something about one of the top two quarterbacks in the NFL, not just last year, every year, shows that some people do have nothing between their ears. So uh, just go look at his numbers, go look at how he leads the team, go look at how he drives the team. He's up there every single year. If he had a bit of luck and we had a fit team last year, we'd have pushed Kansas all the way, and who knows what would have happened. But these things happen and they make you stronger. Defeat makes you stronger if you want it. So for these people that do not rate Josh Allen, you're not watching the game. I know I'm a Bills fan, but I wouldn't be a Bills fan only for Josh Allen. When I needed to go find a team, he was the guy that stood out over all of other teams. He was the guy that would make me a Bills fan. And that's why I am. Then Josh Allen himself was interviewed, and again, a more down-to-earth guy you couldn't meet. Loves the fans being there. There's been a great turnout at St. John Fisher, and the fans really were getting behind it, and he really likes it. As he says, I try to fist pump and high five as many people as I can. He said I can't sign everything, which is understandable. And he doesn't have to. But this guy wants to because he appreciates and respects and sees how genuine and real fans are. He said that he sees people working together, and even when he's walking past dorms there, he's seen guys in studying their plays or in groups talking, which is a great thing. There's also been a good connection with himself and Keon Coleman and himself and Dalton Kincaid. So things are looking forward and looking good. And, you know, it's day one. All the teams are coming back fresh. There's no favourites for the Super Bowl. Yes, on paper, you're not going to look ahead of Kansas City because you have to dethrone them to, you know, take their place. But as a Bills fan, all you want is to see the enthusiasm from your players that they want to do it, and their general manager is there driving them to want to do it, and it's good to see that. So you know, let's take one day at a time. Let's not look forward to next February or January, February time for playoffs and Super Bowl. Let's take a day at a time and let's build and work together and be supportive together and let's see how it goes. In the meantime, while I was off, um, I did watch the Hard Knocks for the Miami Dolphins, and they timed it perfectly for the Bills fans. So they did the second half of the season or last 8 or 9 games, and then they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is leaving out any bias or, you know, there are rivals in our group. This has nothing to do with it. We're just watching it and watching what they show up. We don't know what they didn't see. They were hit no more than the Bills with injuries and bad injuries, and it did affect them near the end of the season. But we were affected too, and as were numerous other teams. And that's part of the NFL, so you just have to get on with it. But Coach McDaniels, and he's a nice guy, his heart is in it. He's had his own issues during his life, and like everyone, and he's got through them, and he is a very good head coach. But he's a guy that, if I was in his dressing room, just missing something. No, I can't put my finger on it. He does, you know, talk to the guys, and maybe I don't know. There's a hardness missing out. I'm not sure now. Maybe it's behind the scenes. We don't see it, and the cameras are different. But there's just something missing out of, Coach McDaniels. Then you look at their players. He was a very good quarterback. I still wait and see will he get paid or not by the Dolphins. Waddle got the pay this year, and Tariq Hill is looking for a big payday. Now, I know all teams have it, but the amount of BS talk that they make on the sideline, it wouldn't cut it over here. You know, there's a thing called modesty, and it's okay for someone else to be shouting and roaring, "You're the best," but you don't need to go shouting and roaring, "You're the best." Do you're the best on football field, and let other people shout and roar. And Terry Kill, my God, that's all I have to say. Lack of self-confidence, zero. He is 100% self-confident, but he's a good footballer. But let him just go and play football, and then let other people sing his praises. You know, like, I am the best, I am the man, I'm the best in the world, yada yada yada. No one, no. That's the one that's saying that about you. Don't need to be shouting at yourself. The top players in the NFL do not, or in anywhere, do not go bragging about themselves and shouting about themselves and saying, "I am the man." Currently, I'm watching the Hard Knocks and the New York Giants, and it's very interesting. It's the start of the season building up, and where I finished watching at the minute was Saquon Barkley just went to the Eagles, and it's interesting to see what what happens behind the scenes with Saquon going to the Eagles. Brian Dable is, trying to get a team together. It was interesting to see the parts and pieces they picked, but it's just a different type of show. And for me, it's out of the two, it's the more interesting than, even though it's great to see the Dolphins flop. As a Bills fan, but the way they flopped was different to the way the Giants are starting their season. There's a more interesting piece to it. The way that they're heading for the draft and things are working. That's just my 2 cents. When I was away, I watched the Euros, and for the American people that watch this, the Euros is the countries of Europe play soccer every 4 years. There's a tournament, and the top 32 teams that qualify for it go into it, and then it's a competition. So Spain won this year's Euros, and they were the best team in it by a mile. They beat our neighbours England in the final, and to be honest, other than Spain playing football and maybe Germany, it was a disappointment of a tournament. Um, Nothing against England; they have a super set of footballers, uh, so talented, some of the best players in world football at the minute, and they're just not a team. And their head coach has left since. But the Spanish team have young lads, don't have many egos on their team, just footballers that want to play, and sometimes football that, footballers that want to play and can play and are let play does the job, and it did the job this time. So if I was to say, well, what two teams should have been in the final, or would you want in the final, as in from a football sense, I would have wanted Spain and Germany because they were the two best footballing teams at the tournament. But they met in the quarterfinals, so that didn't happen. But the best team did win it, so congratulations to Spain. Then I watched the Tour de France, and again, the Tour de France is the cycling competition in the world. It's 3 weeks. Itself and the Giro d'Italia are my two favorite cycling tournaments or competitions. Um, Tadej Pogacar is Slovenian. He won it, and he won the Giro this year. It's the first time since 1998 since that happened. But the way he won it, the mountains, he won 6 stages in this year's tour, including the last three. Two of them are wretched mountains, and one was a time trial. He is a machine. To any young sports person looking for a hero, go look at Tadej Pogacar. He has a rival called Jonas Vingegaard, who, between Tadej and himself, have won it. They've won the last five Tour de France's. Tadej won the first two, Jonas Vingegaard won the next two, and then Tadej's won this one. He is another man that if you're looking for a hero, because this guy, Jonas Vingegaard, had a crash a few months ago, was in intensive care, and came back and finished second in the Tour de France and defended his title with credit. So, you know, um, they're level-headed. They're not cocky. They're not blowing themselves. It's other people to blow them. But modesty is a great thing, and they have plenty of modesty and plenty of respect for each other, and they give us a great show. And it was a brilliant Tour de France, very enjoyable from start to finish. Then I watched a bit of Gaelic football and hurling, and I could do a podcast about Gaelic football and the problems it's facing, but it is facing huge problems compared to hurling. The excitement has gone out of it. Uh, Clare won the All Ireland hurling title last Sunday. Galway and Armagh are playing in the All Ireland football final this Sunday. So after that, then that county inter-county season is over, and then we're back into the NFL and soccer. That's where we want to be. So that is what I did on my sabbatical, and then the other thing I just want to talk about is the kickoff. So I haven't talked about the kickoff before today. So the kickoff, I was just reading and watching a few little bits about it. So you kick it off on your own 35-yard line, but your team is lined up on the other team's 40-yard line, and they are 5 yards back from them. So neither line can move until the receiver, who is between the goal line and the 20-yard line, receives the ball. And if he receives the ball, he has to run with it. He can't call a fair catch. So it's interesting there that it's making the game more that you have to play the ball as a receiving team. Then, if the ball goes into the end zone or out of the end zone, it goes to the 35-yard line. And if the ball doesn't even make the 20-yard line on the other side, it goes to the 40-yard line. And finally, if the ball bounces in between the goal line and the 20-yard line and rolls into the end zone, it goes to the 20-yard line. There's a lot of complications there, but um, the main thing is kick the ball between the goal line and the 20-yard line. Let your man catch it and then run, and then that'll be the basic part of it. Don't be looking at the other things to give teams position or whatever. It'd be very hard to kick it into the between the goal line and the 20-yard line and get it to roll into the end zone because you could have more than one receiver back there, from what I can read. Will it in, encourage people to play more football or more runs? I think so. Will it make the game more exciting? I think so. I've also looked at the onside kick, so you're still lined up the same way, but you have to report to the referee that you're kicking an onside kick, and then the referee has to report it to the head coach or the coaches of the other team, so they know you're hitting an onside kick. So that kind of a surprise is gone. Um, so finally for tonight, it's going to be a short video. Like as I said, the season for me is only starting now. Training camp is just starting. There's not a lot to report. Only good news so far. players are in good spirits. Head coach is in good spirits, and so is the general manager. And things are, I'm looking forward to this season. But going forward, as we get into the season, uh, my videos will be on a Tuesday and Thursday. So on a Tuesday, what I'm going to do is when the games kick off, review the previous weekend's games from a Bills point of view and from an NFL point of view. I'm not going to review every game, but I am going to review it to a certain extent, some of the big ones. And on a Thursday, then preview the weekend that's coming from a Bills point of view and again from the NFL and any big matchups that's coming up, talk about them. And every so often, I will try to do a special guest edition because I've had some brilliant guests on, and it's a different kind of show when you're talking with someone about certain things. So that's basically it, folks. So from this evening, as I said, the first video back, I just had to give a quick hello and let you know I'm still here. And I hope you are having a wonderful summer and holiday. Uh, NFL season now is kicked off, so it's revving up time slowly but surely. The preseason games will be soon upon us, and then the season will. So I think we have the ability and the chance to have a brilliant one ahead as a Bills fan. So let's enjoy it for a moment. You know, keep a smile on our face. So anyway, folks, until my next video again, hopefully it'll be next Tuesday. If I have a bit more information, then I will. If not, we'll find something to talk about. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Bills, and see you then. Take care.